Let's talk about boundaries, but specifically the 3 types of boundaries that can help you free up more time, energy, and space in your life. Hi, my name is Mia. I'm a mom, I'm a self-care coach, and I live with diagnosed PTSD and depression. This channel is all about helping women make their health, happiness, and well-being a priority. I'm so excited you're here because boundaries is something that is talked about a lot, but I think needs to be broken down more because there's so much nuance to it. It can be really challenging to do, especially if you're a recovering people pleaser like I am. So I'm excited to share with you everything that I've learned on my 8-year journey so far of learning to heal, learning to take care of myself, and learning how to set boundaries. So there are 3 kinds of boundaries that I like to teach my clients, and I'm excited to share with you today. And they all start with the letter D, which makes them really easy to remember. And they are decrease, delete, and delegate. I love thinking about boundaries in these categories because whenever I feel overwhelmed or like life is just impossible, I know that's usually a sign that it's time to set some more boundaries. And setting boundaries isn't just like, oh, I need to say no more. Specifically, what does this look like so we can actually identify it and take action? And that's what this framework is supposed to help you do. So you notice you're feeling overwhelmed, you realize you might need to set boundaries, you check in with this framework. The first one that we're going to talk about is decrease. This one is specifically about the tasks that you can't just say no to. You can't just decide you're no longer going to do X, Y, or Z thing, and you need to figure out maybe how can you do a little bit less of it. So I want to give you a few examples of what the decrease boundary looks like. So for instance, I used to fold the laundry almost every single day. I had this thing against having a pile of laundry on the couch, and I decided I was only going to fold laundry on Saturdays while watching TV. It was going to become something that I did to relax in a way, even though I don't like folding laundry, but I figured folding it every single night was taking away precious time that I could have been spending, honestly, taking a shower and brushing my teeth, because in those early days of motherhood, goodness knows I had no time to do that in the morning. So decreasing looked like, we're not going to fold this every day. We're going to let that laundry pile up all week long and just take from the pile what we need and allow ourselves to embrace imperfection and not having a perfect home, and just decrease the amount of times we fold laundry. Another practical example of this is not cooking every single day. I used to cook a different meal every single day because yes, I like to change it up and it's fun to try different recipes. But eventually the dishes got way out of hand and it became exhausting and I had long days and I didn't want to be on my feet in the kitchen for 2 more hours. So I started to batch cook meals. This really helped free up time and energy for me because then every other night when I didn't have to cook a huge meal and clean up after a huge meal, those were the nights I had more time to do a project that was important to me, like work on this YouTube channel or write a blog post or actually take a shower and shave my legs. You would be surprised how much time can be brought back to you for your own personal self-care when you do things like decrease the number of times that you cook every week, because you don't realize how much time it adds up to source twice as many ingredients, to think of twice as many recipes, to wash the dishes for twice as many meals. When you batch cook, you will be making half the meals and doing half the cleaning. It really does save you a ton of time and can give you back so much time and energy and space into your life. Another example of boundary setting is deleting. And this one can be really challenging because this is the one that we're typically used to hearing, the whole say no, just don't do it anymore, walk away boundary. These are really powerful, really important, but also really hard to do. Some examples of deleting can be deciding you're not going to be in relationship or friendship with someone anymore. Obviously, this is really, really difficult, but friendships and relationships take up a lot of energy and a lot of time. And if they're not healthy relationships, if they're not positive influences in your life, they can be doing a lot of harm. So it's really important that you think about the people in your life and think about whether or not it's time to let go of a relationship that's just not healthy for you anymore. Another example of deleting is, I like to think of it in terms of our mindset. So what are some of the ways that you approach your life that are causing you stress? So some of the things I needed to delete and set a boundary with in order to take better care of myself were, number one, the idea that a good mom does all the domestic duties in the house. That is a belief I used to hold on to that I no longer have anymore. And I have since then been working with my husband to make sure that we have more of a fair divvying up of the household labor. Because I, like a lot of women, just when I got married, assumed that all of the house stuff was my job. And then I quickly realized how unfair and exhausting and how much that did not work. So, deleting the belief that as a mother, you're supposed to do everything domestically can be really freeing and is an amazing boundary to set. Another belief I had to delete and part ways with was the idea that my worth is tied up in how much I get done or in whose benchmarks I'm following. I decided that I write my own rules and I create my own benchmarks for what success looks like for me as a Black woman, as a mother, as somebody who lives with PTSD and depression. I have my own benchmarks, and as long as I'm living within those things and my values and, I'm in integrity with those things, I'm good. So those are just a few examples of what deleting can look like. You can also decide that you're not going to care about having a perfectly clean house. The list can go on for beliefs that you can delete and deprogram from your life so that you can just live a freer, more liberated life. I highly recommend it. And the last D in the framework is delegate. This one is super important, especially since we can't just go around deleting every single, task off of our list. Delegation is so important. I talked a little bit about it just a moment ago about working with my husband. And the reason why I said that is because it's not an overnight thing. When your partner is so used to you doing everything, you can't just expect that they're all of a sudden going to be able to do everything that you don't want to do. So just keep in mind that delegation requires patience, it requires time, maybe some teaching to, help the people who want to help you take things off your plate. So some examples of delegation in my own life are my husband and I split up the dishes, so I'm not doing them every night or he's not doing them every night. We take turns with the bathroom. We take turns with the bedtime routine. What are other ways we delegate? We order groceries once or twice a month. And some other examples. Well, I'll tell you, a dream of mine is to delegate housekeeping altogether. I would love to do that. But just when you think of delegation, I know sometimes we immediately think, well, I can't afford to hire help. But there are so many other ways to delegate these days, especially with technology and grocery delivery and all these things. So start with the household things because they take a lot of time and energy from you probably. And, if you are working with coworkers, make sure that you're not doing other people's work. I know I've worked in a lot of different settings where people added work on my plate that wasn't even a part of my job description. So make sure you're advocating for yourself at work as well and delegating things off your plate that aren't even a part of your job description. Because all of these little things I talked about when it comes to decreasing, deleting, and delegating, they add up. And over time, you will start to experience more freedom, more space, more time, and more energy to take care of yourself. Whenever I work with people on their self-care and they feel like they're just not able to take care of themselves and they're burnt out, we don't talk about, okay, well, let's see how you can exercise or let's see how you can start doing this more and that more. The first thing I talk about is this, boundaries. And we walk through this framework because you can't cram self-care into an already crammed schedule. And I guarantee you, you're probably doing too much because as women, we are already doing too much. There's a lot that's expected of us. And if you're a mother, your schedule is probably completely crammed and you're split 5 different ways. So before you even think about self-care, before you even try to address burnout with new habits, new rituals, new practices, I really want you to start here with boundaries. It's really a prerequisite to self-care because once you set boundaries and you get really good at it, you're going to start to have more open space and more energy in your schedule to actually be able to take care of yourself on a more sustainable basis. Because listen, all of us can cram in a yoga class here and there, or we can, try to do a one-off thing here or there. But if you really want to take care of yourself in the long run, sustainability is key, and making sure you're choosing things that actually work within your schedule and being honest about where your time and energy is going. That's the foundation. So I hope this video could help you. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications if you want to know when I upload. But I would love to hear in the comments some examples that you're going to try of how you're going to delegate, decrease, or delete in your own life. And hopefully the examples I shared were relatable and can help you in your own journey. That's all I have for you this week. I will see you in the next week. And until then, take good care of yourself. Bye. Hey, do you need some more help setting boundaries? You should check out my new class. It's called Better with Boundaries. It is a comprehensive class that teaches you not just how to set boundaries, but it also covers why women struggle to set boundaries. I go over the mental, emotional, and cultural and societal obstacles that make it so challenging for us to set boundaries and how to overcome that. If you're interested, this class is one of 12 classes that are a part of my program, The No Longer Lasts Journey. If you want to check it out and learn more, I'll leave a link in the description.